All right, we're going to look at how to build ourselves a spreadsheet or a report so that we can better track and watch our student progress. So we're going to log into Eduphoria. Once you get into Eduphoria, you're going to go to Aware. Once you get into Aware, you notice over here in the left-hand column, you see all of your classes listed. We're going to scroll down specifically to look at RTI, although this process is highly recommended for all of your classes. We want to look specifically at this moment at their STAR progress. If you're numeracy or sixth grade, it would be great to pull up their math. If you're literacy, you're going to pull up reading. So I'm going to click on reading. I want to see last year's scores. So I'm going to click on 2019. This is a seventh grade group. So I'm going to click on their sixth grade progress. And we always look at their May score. Now what you get is all of their information. We can't manipulate it in this screen. So we're going to come up here to the top left-hand corner where it says Export to Excel. We're going to click on Export to Excel. That should pop a screen up at the bottom left-hand corner that says Export View. We're going to go ahead and open that. And this is going to take it into a spreadsheet that we can manipulate. You'll probably have to enable your editing. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean up this spreadsheet. We're going to take out the information that really does not pertain to us or information that really isn't going to be helpful in tracking at this moment. So I don't need their gender, so I'm going to delete that. We do not need their ethnicity. We're going to delete that. At this time, we really don't need to see their raw scores. We really just want to see scale score and percent score for this time being. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete my other columns. It may be something that I can bring back into the report later, but for the sake of simplifying, we're going to go ahead and take out all other columns. So I only have student name, ID, SPED, LEP, scale score, and percent score. I want to go ahead and label my column STAR Reading 2019. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to minimize and go back to my Eduphoria screen. Now, we want to look at their map data as well. We never look at one data point to help us understand where a student is. It takes multiple data points. So we're going to go back over here to the left column under the title Aware, where all of the testing is located. We're going to scroll past where we just selected STAR. We're still under RTI. However, we're looking at the NWEA map. Once you find that, go ahead and click on it. We're still going to stick with literacy. So I'm going to click on reading. We want to look at last year's data, so 2018, 2019, sixth grade, and you get three options. We want to choose the spring because that is our end of year data. So now we can see our map data. We're going to do the same thing and export this to Excel. We can't manipulate from here. And you should get an export view in the bottom left-hand corner, and we're going to go ahead and open that spreadsheet as well. You'll have to do the same thing and enable editing. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to take their RIT score and we're going to move it over to their STAR score spreadsheet. Now, the simple way to do this would be just to take the column and copy and paste it over. But what I found is there may be some students, for whatever reason, that are on your map list that are not on your STAR list. So I highly recommend just selecting certain scores, copying and pasting over next to those names. So I'm going to look at Alfaro, Armenta, Atalano, Castrillon, Cooper, Fentress, and Fraga. And I'm going to copy their scores over. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to open up the export spreadsheet that I created with their STAR scores, and I'm going to paste Alfaro, Armente, Adelano, Castellon, Cooper, and Pinterest and Braga. Those all align, and I'm going to go back to their map, and I'm going to do the next group of students: Garcia, Glass, Gongoria, Harris, Lancaster, Malit, and Mejia, and Messimer. And I'm going to copy those, and I'm going to move them over to Garcia, Glass, Gongoria, Harris, Lancaster, Mejia, and Messimer. And I'm doing this to make sure that I don't miss someone or somebody's score doesn't end up next to somebody else's name. So Mesa, Murray, Naples, Rudolph, Rupert, Rustworm, and Sikora. I'm going to copy those. And I'm going to do the same thing. Mesa, Murray, Naples, Rudolph, Rupert, Rustworm, and Sikora. Those all align. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to keep doing this until I am done. Slack, Terrazas, Spawn, Welliker, Wilcox, and Zwiebel. And I'm going to go back over to my star sheet. And what I notice is there's a Thomas Avery here. That was not an original person on that other list. So I need to be very careful. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look. I'm going to go ahead and copy Slack and make sure Slacks goes in. Terrazas. I'm going to copy. And Thomas is the one that's missing, so I'm going to skip over Thomas, Vaughn, Welliker, Wilcox, and Zwiebel. So I know that those are the next chunk. So I'm going to copy those and I'm going to bring them over and I'm going to paste those in. If I would have copied the entire column over, I probably would have been shy one, and then I wouldn't know where the blank spot is. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to put NA for now. That just lets me know that I don't have data for Avery Thomas. So what now you have is your RIT score, your reading RIT. Actually, I'm going to shorthand that, reading EOY, because it was end of year 2019, so that I know that's their RIT score. So what you find is 80% on their STAR score, and they received a 231 RIT. Those are closely aligned, and that's what we would expect. So ultimately, what this is going to do, this is going to help you track data. So here's one that specifically I would want to look at. Jaden Murray. He scored a 35% on his STAR score. I know that I'm looking at a tier 1 spreadsheet. So why would he be sitting in a tier 1 if he scored at 35%? Well, what do we notice about his RIT score? It's sitting at a 234. That is higher than this student up here with an 80%. So ultimately, what we can probably conclude is Jaden Murray either had a bad testing day or there was something going on. His data shows that he can be instructed at the tier 1 extension level. So we want to continue to pull that string, and I'm going to leave him in tier 1. However, had he had 35% and say a 190 for a RIT, what you would need to do is you need to email me Jaden's name and let me know his 2 scores so that we could work together to figure out where he needs to be, where he would be best served. And then I would save this document. And then as you are gathering data, you would just add in columns just the way we did. So when they get their BOY reading scores here in about a month, you're going to need to go in and you're going to need to copy and paste over just the way we did this time. So with this, go ahead and save this document, print it out, and keep track. If you've got any questions, please let Carrie Robertson or Stephanie Duncan know.